Morning.
Morning.
Why is that funny already?
I don't know. I know it's not. It's not. Nothing funny about morning.
No.
Otherwise, everyone would just go around laughing the whole time, especially in the morning. See, that's not funny. We've had to do a bit of. We've had to do a bit of censorship this morning because one of the vlogs we did, there was a bit of nipplage.
There was, and it wasn't mine. Luckily.
Yeah, you say luckily, but it's not that kind of vlog. So this morning, what are we talking about?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
We were talking about a few things. One of the things was actually, interestingly, what you refer to each other as.
That's it.
Which is an interesting one.
That's the one. Yeah, we struggle with that, don't we? A couple of times, you've pretended that I'm your wife because you haven't known what else to say.
I panicked.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. Could have referred to you as my
Mother?
cleaner or mother. Mother, yes. Sister. No.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable.
You're not.
Anyway,
you better move.
Not to worry.
You better move then. So yeah, we
feel we're too old for girlfriend and boyfriend, don't we? Is that so? What's that saying about us? Maybe we should just embrace the girlfriend, but no, but it does have a bit of a young connotation, doesn't it?
It is. It's interesting. Is there anything that's an issue with that, or is it just trivial? The other thing we talked about, because partner is the obvious.
Yeah, but it feels a bit clinical, doesn't it? It feels a bit worky, I think. For me, it's a bit worky-fied.
You see, for me, I don't know what it is. It feels like a contrived political correctness.
Oh, right.
And I have a real problem with the term political correctness because I think it's used negatively, particularly by a certain group.
Well, that's just political correctness gone mad, isn't it?
It is. But it's that political correctness thing that people say political correctness gone mad and all this stuff. But it's for a reason.
I've got to. Can we just show who else is here with us in bed today?
This doesn't sound. It's not as dodgy as it sounds. Oh.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh. Dog.
My very small little pooch.
Oh,
my little lap dog.
Oh, my dog. We won't name the dog because we're all about privacy as well.
Are we?
No, not really, but we won't name the dog.
Well, I probably will. It'll probably pop out.
Well, somebody might call the dog in a different... Stop. Anyway, what? It's gone wrong. What? So yeah, this partner thing I feel is a bit. I don't know. Maybe people. I don't know. Maybe people are comfortable with it, and I don't know. What
I would use it only because I can't think of anything else. I can't bring myself to say boyfriend somehow.
No.
I'd be lying if I said husband.
Yeah. And why would we feel?
Partner feels cold.
Need, yeah.
And we were just talking about other half, weren't we?
Which is, other half is I was saying I was listening to a radio programme about this, an absolute kind of no-no according to the psychologists, for the reason that, we already said that it suggests that you're not complete in yourself, which you might, again, people might listen to that and go, oh, what a load of old nonsense.
PC gone mad.
Yeah. They say it in that voice as well, don't they?
Yeah.
Who are you channeling there?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that.
So we need to come up with a word for each other. I've just one that's just popped into my head. Beloved. My beloved. I think I might start using that. Am I though?
You could do like a, and I don't mean to offend the sort of southwest Cornish.
My beloved.
My lover.
My lover.
My lover is.
Yeah, no,
is
I don't think I'm going to be saying.
Really
and
bad.
here's my lover.
I am also pleased to say my partner. Wasn't that on the Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse?
I don't know.
In Holland,
I
when
don't
they were
know
in a police car, and he said, "I am Peter van der Gee." of the Dutch police. I'd like to introduce my partner, and I'm also pleased to say my love. this is anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
No. So yeah, we're struggling for a word, aren't we?
Yeah. So that's one thing, and
Yeah.
it's probably a bit trivial to a certain extent, but it is one of the things that pops up in this situation, which is what we're
it's
all
true.
about.
Right. On other news.
Yeah. News
Did we have we done a vlog on having told our kid or
No.
kid? Oh well, that's the big news, surely, isn't it? There's a lot of the big news, I think.
That is, yeah. No, I think that's a big one, and that is one of the things that, in our situation, which I think is what we're all about here, is just describing that journey.
Yeah.
So
my kids have found out about you. I was really, really scared before, wasn't I? Now it all feels very natural and normal.
So that's certainly one to discuss and unpack a little. So you were scared, first of all.
I was terrified. I was terrified of hurting them, of them really not accepting the idea, I suppose, and then what the impact that has on me, and then the impact that has on us. I was scared about all of that. But also I didn't like the fact that I was hiding stuff from them and lying to them. So the opportunity presented itself. My daughter asked me who I'd been on the phone to. And I thought, right, this is the moment to say. So I said, she made an assumption. She decided I was speaking to somebody else. And I said, well, no, it wasn't that person. It was my new friend. And she said, who's your new friend? And I said, David. And both of the girls were there. And they looked at me and they said, a boy, Mummy? Is it your boyfriend?
See, they were quite happy. They knew what to call me.
Yeah.
Say,
yeah.
Is it your life
there?
partner?
No, they didn't say that.
Exactly. Is it your lover?
Yeah, no, they didn't say that. They were right in there with boyfriend. So do you know what? I might embrace the youth speak and use boyfriend. That might have just decided that for me, actually.
Good.
So I said, yes, it's my boyfriend. And then they just asked a million questions. How old you are, where you live. It's funny, they didn't ask what you do. All the adults ask what you do. Kids don't ask what you do. They asked if you had children, if you've got any pets. That's the important things to them. Is he kind? That was really big on that. They've talked about kindness a lot. Yeah. So it felt to me really healthy the way they've handled it all. And I know it's early days. They haven't met. Well, they've met you on video, haven't they?
Well, yeah. Also, they met me on video by doing a video call, which was actually, to be honest, we were both discussing it, and your daughter, the eldest, said it was a really gentle way of doing it, because you can cut. Often there's a bit more control, particularly from your daughter's perspective. If she wanted to, she could end the call, hand it to you.
Yeah.
And for me, it was quite a good way as well, because it didn't feel so intrusive.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, in the technological world, that's an advantage that we should think about using as well. It's quite a gentle way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and
that is true. Yeah.
It worked really well, I think.
Yeah, me too. So I'm really pleased. And they phoned you a few times now, haven't they?
Yeah. They have, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really nice.
And they say things. Oh, do you know what? I forgot to tell you this. My eldest, when I was coming over, she said, "Oh, I wanted to get him something."
Oh,
she wanted to get you
nice.
Another chocky bar or something.
Oh, well, that's nice, because
Isn't
I dropped some chocolates off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Over Easter, which again, it's just those little acts of kindness. Interesting, actually. What I was going to think about unpacking to a certain extent, maybe for another time, is this what you do? We've had this conversation, haven't we?
Yeah.
That it's really, it's alarming's overstating it, but everyone tends to ask what you do, and you do in social contexts. And I've read stuff about this, but it's not that healthy to say, what is it you do? And you want to answer, well, I I play the guitar, or I go scuba diving, or something
Yeah.
that isn't.
Yeah.
They don't, and they never mean that. I mean,
No. How do you make your money? I
defined how do you
suppose
make
it
your money?
means.
Yeah.
But also, I know that our identities are so tied up with what we do, aren't they?
Well, and this is what we need to challenge. And I've told you the story about the group of friends that I had, where we used to meet up every week to do a pub quiz, and we'd been doing it for a couple of years. And this fella sat down next to us, and he just started chatting to us, and he said, "Oh, what do you all do?" And we looked at each other, shrugged. We haven't got a clue. Why is it important? And we
Yeah.
said, why is it relevant? What does it matter what we do? And we really didn't. I was going to say didn't care, but didn't mind. You really didn't. It wasn't relevant. We
Yeah.
got on. We had a good time. We were supportive. So what did it matter?
Yeah.
What we did, is it going to change anything? You're an astronaut or a cleaner or what? It was. I liked that. I felt that was really healthy.
Yeah.
You might say it lacks inquisitiveness, given that we spent a huge amount of time at work. But we actually, and we celebrate, and we still refer to that conversation, my group of friends, because we all like it. Do you know?
I think that's really good. Yeah.
We all like it.
I've got a friend who I've asked her a number of times what she does, and I never understand what she does, and I just don't understand it.
No.
So I've stopped asking, and I don't really care.
Great. Yeah, exactly.
Because
Great.
it doesn't matter.
No, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Your kid, but this is the purity, the sort of purity of kids.
Isn't it?
They don't say what you do, and
Because it doesn't matter to
that's
them.
interesting.
Isn't it? Just.
Great questions. Is he kind? Is he kind?
Is he kind? Yeah.
What a brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, and then there were some other questions. Are you sleeping at his house?
Oh yeah.
Are you sleeping in the same room?
And
I said, yes. Are you going to do anything naughty? Said, no. Is there a lights off rule?
Is there a
lights off rule?
Oh, that is
brilliant.
I
know. And then I said, well, no, there's not a rule. Yeah. Or.
But actually, there is.
I said, lights off rule. What did I say? I said, well, the lights were off. I'm not staying there then. And they were just thinking about if they'd be allowed to have a light on in their bedroom if they stayed over. So,
sweet.
they're thinking about the future.
Yeah.
But
that fear that you held, Carrie, that they can pick up, because we've talked about how I've dealt with things with my children. I am anxious about it, and I'm not confident then.
Yeah.
And that will come across.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, what, what's causing that? And there are reasons for that I won't go into now, I suppose.
Yes.
But,
Do you know what? Remember we did that little exercise? I love that little exercise where you talk about something that hasn't yet happened as though it's already happened, so you can set it in your mind that it's got a positive outcome, so your brain sort of relaxes about it, so you don't carry that fear around it. So I did that exercise about telling my kids about you, and I think that really helped sort of calm the nerves a bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we have talked about it. So that is about visualization. It's almost like the sports
that's
people
exactly
do,
it. It's
don't
that
they?
whole
They visualize a
psychology
positive
thing.
Yeah, exactly. A
Because
good golf shot or a good free
your
kick or
brain
whatever it might be.
apparently doesn't know the difference between what is it? What's real and what's imagined?
Yeah.
You can really use that to your advantage, can't you?
Well, that's, and particularly golf, because golf's one of those frustrating games. You hit a great shot, hit a really bad shot, and golfers often torture themselves with that. I'm going to shank it. I'm going to hook it, and because they're doing that, that, like you say, you don't know the difference, and also your muscles don't know the difference. So you end up replicating the bad shot because that's the one you've been telling yourself. So that sort of training. And this is something that I don't think we embrace. We're so, things are so clinical and so cold, and such a sausage factory approach to everything. It feels like we don't spend enough time actually in that space. Do we?
No.
So how's that relevant to this? Well, you've just described one of the situations. Is just think about these situations you challenge with the kids, and it seems like moving or something. Moving out, think of yourself in the new house and think of it in a positive way.
Yeah.
The good stuff, it would be great, I've got it all sorted, rather than, oh, I've got to move, I've got to get there and move, and how am I going to sort out that stuff?
Yeah.
That's the negative side, isn't it? And it's not positive thinking. It's not that thinking it will happen and all this sort of
It's not
slightly
blind
airy fairies.
optimism.
No, exactly. It's not blind optimism. It's really important.
Yeah.
It feels stuff that imagines a bright future, it imagines a positive future, and then
Well,
you feel it.
I've made a bit of another big leap as well this week, haven't I?
You have.
Yeah. Where do I start? Where do I start?
Well, 15 minutes in.
I know. Oh, yeah. Well. Oh, is there time now?
Well, say what it is and we can come back to it.
Okay, so I've got a dog walking business that I've been very proud of, but just feel like, for me, time has come where I don't really want to be quite so involved in that anymore. Look at him. Oh, he's a good boy.
he is a good boy.
He really is. That's his tail wagging, if you can hear that beating noise.
I wonder if you could just carry
anyway,
on through.
What was I saying?
Something about.
So I've been feeling for a while that it's time to take a bit of a step back from the dog walking, but I've been really terrified because that's how I earn my money, and I need to earn money because I'm a single mom, and I've got some other ideas of how I want to earn money, but it's a bit of a leap of faith, and I've basically made that leap of faith this week by not replacing my van that was written off a couple of weeks ago. Well, I've replaced it with a Mini. So I'm not going to be using that for much dog walking.
Choice.
I know. I do love it.
Yeah.
So I bought a Mini instead of a van. I've done something that I really, really want to do. In the hope and expectation that this new career is going to open up for me.
Yeah, and we probably might come back to that because the leap,
no doubt,
the leap isn't one into a complete unknown darkness, but it is a leap, and it's all about transformation.
Oh my word! Do you know the way I feel? Once you start on this path of transformation, it all starts happening so quickly. It sort of gathers so much momentum. I feel, if I look back just 12 months, everything feels so different now. I can't believe how much has changed in 12 months.
And it is time. I was told, that it was time, and time was the healer, or time and I don't know, was I sceptical? I sort of was a little bit, but it really is true. And that is the other thing. There absolutely is that hope there, and it does come, and it just requires a sort of bit of faith, I suppose. But from those dark times and from the times we've got challenges, and we'll have challenges that will happen again, but you just have to see that time does heal it. And also, as you said, things can change actually quite quickly.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're into a brighter day, and that's...
It's our 2-month anniversary today, isn't it?
Oh, Lord.
Isn't it? We can't believe it's only 2 months, can we? Because it feels so much longer. In a good
so
way.
Many ways. In a good way. Yeah, that's
no,
what
it is
I meant.
in a good way.
It is, yeah.
But I just can't... I feel like I know you so well. I feel like
I feel like the song's coming on now.
Which one?
I think Barbara Dixon's involved. Elaine Page, if I may.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna.
I don't think we're gonna
duet, unfortunately, because we haven't got time.
No,
maybe we could end it with the start of the duet. No, don't. You don't.
Isn't it good?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to because
Isn't it fine?
She's actually literally hot under the collar. Ooh. Right, time to go.
Okay.
20 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.